What's up, trade crew? Welcome back to another episode of HVAC R&D with Rhydon and Dennis. We are powered by Keystone Sales and Associates, your premier PHVAC manufacturers rep in the Mid-Atlantic. Picked up some new products over there at Keystone. We'll be getting into them soon. Some of them's not in my market, so I'm upset, but that's okay. We have, it's just me and Rhydon tonight. We have a lot to get to. We've got some articles we're actually going to read through. Manufacturers are being tasked with the heat pump challenge. We've got some cooling posts, stuff around the world for HVAC. So without further ado, let's get it going.
Yeah, come on. So what's up, trade crew? Dennis, I'd like to congratulate you on not forgetting our primary sponsor in the opening track this week.
Right.
So good job there. That being said, I will take care of our other platinum sponsor, One Thing Marketing. Thank you so much for everything they've done for us. If you guys are looking for some info, make sure to go listen back to our episode with Brittany and get you some great free 99s information on how to be ready for your marketing growth in 2024. And, if you want to go even more in depth, why don't you get on and follow One Thing Marketing and reach out and have a conversation with Brittany and see what she can do for you guys. So shameless sponsor plugs over. Time to get into the real important stuff, which is how much are you guys loving HVAC R&D these days? Wherever you're listening to us on Pandora, Spotify, iHeart, Apple Music, please make sure to follow us, like us, rate the show, leave us a review, share us with your friends and your trade crew. Let's continue to grow this community. We've seen a lot of cool things start to come out of everything that we've been working on the last couple of months, so we're very excited about all that stuff. If you're interested in being a sponsor or sponsoring a one-off show or working with us in any other capacity, please contact us through our website, hvacrnd.com. That is hvacrnd.com. Social stats keep moving up. TikTok's over 500. It's getting there. Instagram is pushing into the 1540s. LinkedIn is zeroing in on that 400 mark, so it's getting there. TradeHounds continues to be the beast in our social media locker, so thank you to everyone that's listening to us and checking out our stuff over there. As always, you can find us on Instagram and TikTok at hvac.rnd. And then you can find us on LinkedIn, TradeHounds, and Facebook as the HVAC R&D Podcast. Again, any other information you can get from hvacrnd.com. Make sure to get over there, check out the Vendor Hub for more information on Keystone Sales and One Thing Marketing, as well as check out that sweet swag shop, which our buddy Corey has been doing a great job of plugging for us on the last show. Yeah. So let's get it going. Yeah, come on with some CW beats. But, he has been awesome for us. I can't be more thankful to everything he's done for us and helped us get all this sweet music in the background of our show and some other stuff. So make sure to give our buddy Corey some love. Any other information? Well, website, guys. No more Linktree. I think this is probably the last show I'm going to talk about that. But, it's been a good month. Everyone's had about 4 episodes to know the Linktree doesn't work. Just go to the website. Yep. So, outside of that, it sounds like it's beer time.
It's beer crack. Well, also to add to the little plugs there, it is the year of the beer sponsor. I promised Rhydon I was going to get us a beer sponsor, a brewery to brew me up some Trade Crew brew.
Yes.
Some Crawl Space IPA, maybe a Attic Ale. You know, anybody out there knows a brewmaster wants to brew something up.
Some Basement Brown Ale. That sounds kind of bad.
Basement Brown Ale. There you go. A service call sour.
There it is.
Yeah. For riding.
Satisfied customer sour. Is that it?
Yeah. Yeah. A Google-like seltzer.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right, we're done.
And
we've not drank enough to have good beer ideas yet.
So I hadn't even asked you what you think of the new intro.
I like the new intro.
So no more Goodman. The Goodman's gone. This new house I'm in, I'm renovating for my buddy while mine's being built. Has a Coleman, and it's old, and that's what you're hearing. I'm gonna turn up the shutdown, because the shutdown has got some interesting sounds.
That's funny.
It's just not loud enough. But yeah, we had fun recording
some
that.
high-priced camping equipment.
Yeah, all the music you hear on here is original. Like
outside of the walkout songs.
Yeah, the walkout songs they're I purchased those and snippet them in there, so that's, and we still can't put our stuff in certain parts of the country. I don't know, we get kicked out.
I think there's certain countries that kick anybody out with certain music or lyrics. I have no idea.
Right. All right, so yeah, you've got. Let's get into some beers of the week here. I got something really special, but I'll let Rhydon go first.
All right, you got something special? Yeah. All right, so what made me think about this is a great selection is it says, this is the beer to share with your seltzer friends. Yep. So it is called Mountain Water. It's from Highwire Brewing. It is Mountain Water Citrus Splash Easy Drinking Ale. Bright, citrusy, crisp, refreshing, zippy, and bubbly. This is a beer for drinking. A beer for hiking, hanging, and playing outside. Bright and citrusy with major slushy in the sunshine vibes from lemon and lime. This is the beer to share with your seltzer friends. 110 calories, 5 carbs, 0.8 grams of protein, 0 grams of fat. Good beer and good times. 4.5%. That 9.1 was showing itself last week. That's what we can talk about. All the things I screwed up. So, refreshment level 100, crushability 100, friendship level 100. Ale brewed with lemon and lime. So, it's a nice 16-ounce pint. Again, Highwire Brewing. Let's see what she sounds like.
Yep, I can tell. It's the tall boy.
Oh, yeah.
For the seltzer friends, huh?
Dude, it tastes like a Sprite almost.
Really?
Yeah. It's like a Sprite that's just not quite full flavor. Not bad.
Highwire. Man, I hadn't had anything from Highwire in a while.
I hadn't either. I can't even remember where they were. It's been so long.
Oh, Google.
Yeah. So yeah, I was gonna say they're Charlotte.
Yeah, they're local. I knew they were. I just didn't know. Yeah, what side of town they were on.
Yep.
All right, so
what do you got, Mr. Special?
Yeah, I haven't drank this on the show, surprisingly. It's brewed in the USA, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Jesus.
Got the collector's edition here. Got the duck camo. Let's see what we got here. This is nope, that's the government warning. We got 95 carbs, 3.2 grams of protein. I got you on the protein there. This is a Busch Latte, everybody.
Busch.
The Busch Light. Here we go. Okay, sorry. Old Busch Light. It's underrated, man.
It is.
You know what it smells like when you crack one of these open?
NASCAR?
It just smells like beer. I know that sounds stupid. I've said that on here before, but
No, I get it.
it smells like, when you were growing up and your dad may have drank beer growing up, whether it was a Budweiser or Miller Lite. You know what I mean? It's just got that, I don't know, it's just got that beer smell.
I remember trying, I swear it was a Bud Heavy when I was like 7 or 8 that Dad had.
The Red Snapper.
Oh, yeah. I was like, what is this? Where's my Seagram's wine cooler that my grandma gives me?
So every time I go up to see Corey up at App State, and we, if we take him down to Walmart to restock him with something, because he still don't have a parking spot, so he can only get so much. I always go through the beer section and see what's missing, and it's Natural Light, Busch Light. The good beers are safe in that town.
Well, and it's like in order of cheapest, multiple cold and domestic, they disappear.
Oh yeah, from left to right. There's nothing till you get halfway down through there. As soon as you get to Yingling, it's fully stocked.
Yep.
Yingling Light, they ain't swinging that either. You can't find a Natty Light in that place though.
Now, I remember the Ingles right there down from Western, because for the longest time Colowee was dry. Now I think they actually have a place on campus that sells alcohol, but everything was dry, so we'd have to drive into Silva to get anything. And the first thing you run into is the Ingles, and it's got the biggest beer cooler of any Ingles in Silva, and it was always half empty.
Dude, Ingles all have the walk-in, the cave, the beer cave.
Do they all now?
I swear. The one by my house does, and you walk in there, and it's like a 20 by 20 room at 35 degrees or whatever the heck it is.
That's what I'm talking about.
Kylie likes going in there with me. She's like, can I go in there with you? I'm like, sure. She's like, all right, ready to get out.
There's not an Ingles. Well, actually, I lied. There's an Ingles in Albemarle, actually. And then I passed one. Where did I pass one randomly the other day? I was like, I did not know there was an Ingles here.
I mean, that's as fancy as I get here in Valdez, dude.
Well, and I mean, that's all I had. Well,
The
that's a lie.
Ingles.
We had the Ingles, and we had an AMP that eventually became an IGA. But I mean, I don't think they built the Ingles until I was 9 or 10, maybe. So I mean, it was just the AMP, and that was it. And
So this
saved a lot. I had to save a lot.
Oh yeah, the Save-A-Lots. So this shows my age. You know what I miss from Fort Mill? So if anybody that's just signed on to the show, I moved from Fort Mill, which is kind of South Charlotte, up here to Valdez. Super small town where I'm at now, but I could almost see 3 grocery stores from my back porch, and it was Harris Teeter, Publix. I had an Aldi. We had, dude, it's hard to beat Publix. It's expensive, but I'm at that age now. We cook at home a lot, and I like cooking, and the meat and stuff at Publix. It's no Food Line. Let's just be, we got a Food Line here in Valdez, and it's kind of on the struggle. Not gonna lie.
There are some Food Lines on the struggle. I'll admit, I still end up because
it's a grocery store, right?
It's a great grocery store. We've got 2 of them right here close to us, but I swear half the time I end up still going to the one that used to be by our apartment because I still pass it going to the office and back because it's still the quickest route is to cut down George Lyles at some point. And that one usually is pretty much always on point. That's always a good Food Line.
It's the good ones. Any good grocery store, it just needs to be busy, right? It needs to be constantly restocked.
Yep.
Ours is like, you might want to check the date on some of it. Not gonna lie, it's just like, man, it's just not enough traffic.
Yep, not enough people in volume.
The Fort Mill stuff, right? It's like every other day. It's just a fresh shelf, ready to go. All right. Catching up. This is a terrible time of year. I feel like everybody's just in a fog, dude.
Well, it's
They're
like
either sick or everybody wants to get going, but they're just not.
well, and it's always weird because you always have you have Christmas week and that's fine, but then you have New Year's, so it's not a full week, and then you get this week, which the second week of January is always what's actually the first full week, but then the week after that, you typically we're closed on Monday because it's Martin Luther King Day. So you really you don't really fully get back into a, go to work every day groove until like the end of January. Kind of messes your schedule and your time up.
Now, what are you hearing as far as, I know people listening are all different parts of the country weather-wise, but that storm we had a couple days ago, it was from Florida to Canada.
Oh yeah,
that was nuts.
Yeah, it was a beast of a storm.
Tornadoes at the beach. But what are you hearing busy wise from contractors?
Honestly,
just a kind of a dead time.
Honest, I've had a really good start to the year actually.
Okay.
Now, again, and I've said this before, I'm still fresh over here, so for me, I'm constantly in growth mode. So, for at least the next couple of years,
right?
It's going to be growth every month. So what I'm doing may not always reflect where business really is.
Yep.
And then some of it also depends on the mix of business that I've kind of started to cultivate over here. So I've kind of got a mix of business to where, we talk about the new construction keeps you busy in the winter thing. I like having a little bit of everything anyway, just because it's why I enjoy my job is I get to do a little bit of, all these different things and help guys in different situations. So, I've got some multifamily stuff that's going. I've got some retrofit stuff going. I've got some state work going. I've got just some, everyday general service stuff going. I've got a little bit of everything, a different little iron in the fire for everything. So it's kind of nice right now. Not everybody is in that same boat. Some people they're doing solely retrofit. This is typically kind of a funky time of year. And then there's people, if they're doing new construction, who knows?
Right. I've been seeing the building. I mean, it's not really slowed down. It's pretty steady, building wise, new construction, commercial apartments.
Yeah, no, it's been steady. Now, there for a little bit, they were slapping townhomes up left and right around parts of Charlotte. I know a few of those companies have taken their foot off the gas. Just a little bit. Because I had a customer that was doing a bunch of that stuff, and they're looking to do some different stuff now because it just kind of disappeared on them. And that sometimes, as we said before, that's the fear of putting too many eggs in one basket when it comes to new construction stuff, because it's cutthroat. And when they shut the faucet off, it's shut off.
No, it's
for a bit.
It's a ball valve.
Yeah.
It's just off or on.
Yep.
I'll never forget in 2008, man, when they cleared all that land, and then you would drive by and there'd be the PVC sticking up from the slabs.
Yep.
And we just called them PVC farms. Like before the slab, where they just run them wild, just sticking up. And it was like, oh, look, there's another PVC farm. And it would just grow up and turn into woods again.
Yeah.
And it would have a road cut through it and PVC sticking up. It was like, dang. All right, so let's get into some catching up here. On my end, I'm getting a new trailer ready for the Virginia market for Keystone. Speaking of that, I don't think we've drank Keystone on this show. Anyway, yep.
We should. We should.
I don't think I've ever had a Keystone.
I don't know if I have either. I always just drank Coors Light, which Keystone's. So Keystone is to Coors Light what Busch Latte is to Bud Light.
Yeah. What? Right. Yeah, I might I'm about to stock up on some of the old Keystone. See if we drink one of those on here. So yeah, we've got Virginia markets pretty big for Bosch, and I'm gonna build a 14-foot trailer, not so big, but that market is heavy on the water side. So boilers, I'm gonna put 2 boilers on one side, maybe a tankless on the other, and then it'll have a Bosch IDS cart to roll up in there.
Are you gonna put any kind of water source stuff on there?
Probably not. So I'm gonna
Like
build a
small
water.
S or an L?
Yeah, I'm gonna build a water source cart, but so building a geo cart is kind of a lot.
Well, and I didn't mean necessarily a geo cart. I meant like a hydronic air handler or anything like that. Something like the LV or an SV, something like that.
Well, yeah, well that's what I mean. So we really want a geo cart, but
Gotcha.
What I'm getting at is like if you want to build, you can't really do the whole loop thing, right? Like you could take, I got a stack of pipe. It's in a coil. It's a 300-foot loop that you can put on the cart and run water through.
Jeez.
But now it's only like 4 foot tall and maybe 3 foot wide, right? I mean, it's just a stack of pipe.
Yeah.
Coiled up. But what a lot of guys do is they'll take, a water source like air handler unit, and then on the other end of the cart to run the water through, it's a like a low boy water heater tank.
Makes sense.
Now that's a water sourced heat pump. You see what I mean? Like you can't really get into the geo side. So you try to, I don't know. We're trying to figure out how we want to do it. You know, it's still got to roll through a door. It still needs to be 30 inches wide. All these carts have to be 30 inches wide, because if you open up a 3.0 door and you can't open the door all the way back,
yep, you're in trouble.
The door kills 1.5 inches. I mean, I've obviously thought all this out, but these carts have to be 30. And that geo cart or the water source cart, dude, it's heavy. Holy smokes.
Well, with all that water in it.
Well, like them SVs or the Whisper Quiet, like it takes 2 or 3 of us to set it up on the cart. But anyway, so yeah, I'm getting another trailer ready for that market. It's going to stay up there, getting it wrapped probably next week. The inside's just plywood. Of course, got to paint it, put flooring in it. I'm going to be at the shop for.
Which now that's
February. I almost said January, but
Well, I was going to say, and that's Paul and then Sam, right?
Yep. So Virginia, DC market. So you remember the training I did in Virginia?
Yeah.
I've got some callbacks. People want me to come back up there and do some more training, so that's good.
Well, you're a pretty good trainer, buddy.
It's not as far as you think from me. It's 4 hours, and wherever I go eat, there's gambling in the restaurant, so it's perfect. Danville, we gotta, you got us an update on the Caesars? Is it coming out?
It's coming out of the ground. I actually saw something the other day. Dang it, let me see if I can find it again.
Old Danville, Virginia. I'm gonna have to start training in Virginia more.
Let's see if we can get us an update.
So my boss Bob, episode 100. All the guys up there, they're big gamblers. I mean, obviously it's all around them. And I have yet to play craps or anything with Bob. Got to get into that. I wish we had time to gamble a little bit at AHR, but
I mean, there's a Bally's. It is the newest casino in Chicago. Like,
I know,
4 blocks away.
Gosh, 6 foot in the snow, uphill both ways.
Yes, and it's like 3 stories. It's like a stacked casino.
Mm.
So This is funny. This is actually from ABC News 13, which that's probably your ABC now, isn't it?
Yep.
So WLOS, that was what I grew up watching. Star Cell Grimes still on there?
No, I ain't watching that. What? Well, unless I'm streaming it.
That's because I grew up with 3 channels and a giant set of rabbit ears. Actually, it wasn't tinfoil. It was a giant antenna that Dad stole off of somebody's radio tower, for God's sake, somewhere probably. That, or he probably got it in a horse trade deal to fix something for somebody.
Oh yeah, he fixed an air conditioner to get that.
Oh yeah,
no doubt.
So, construction on Caesars Casino's permanent location making steady progress. So it looks like it is still on track to open. Let's see. 90,000 square feet. So the temporary one's 40,000 square feet. The permanent one will be 90,000 square feet.
Jeez.
Yep.
So the good thing about these Busch Lattes is they just go down, dude.
Just keep on trucking. So they right now are up to the 11th floor, and it's a 12-floor hotel. So they've almost got it all framed in.
Oh, really?
Yep.
God, we were just there. It was a tent. Now they weren't. Are they building it out behind it?
So it's behind the tent.
Okay, it was probably there. It was dark.
Here,
we didn't.
I'm gonna put this link into the notes for you. There we go.
All right.
Casino update.
I mean, I like the vibe in there. If they keep that, it's a nice little.
It looks like it'll be a pretty sweet looking spot. But it looks like it's gonna be.
Oh, there's the tent.
Open by the end of 2024 is the plan.
Oh yeah, okay.
But they said they're gonna need about 3 times the employees they currently have, so they're like blowing up job fairs and all kinds of stuff. So if anybody is interested in learning how to deal craps, hey, or some blackjack or some 3-card, get yourself on over to a Caesars hiring event.
I'm gonna do some training in there.
24. Oh, hell yeah.
We got to start doing that. I'm gonna start training in.
Yeah, we got to start doing some training, some interesting locales.
We said that on the last show.
Because we got Danville coming up. We got one in down there close to the past Gastonia. We got Harris. They're popping up everywhere, man. Yeah, 2 Kings, Catawba Valley. There it is. Couldn't think of it.
We just need sports betting in North Carolina.
I know, right?
Gosh. So, by the way, I put in a bet. I don't know if I've said this on the show.
Oh,
when I was in,
when you were up there, did you win?
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't win.
Oh.
No, I put in Braves to win World Series. Some long, they weren't in the playoffs yet, I don't think. So I do have a bet for the Dolphins to win the Super Bowl that I put in September.
Yep.
So it's plus 900. And I put $100 on them.
Sweet. So that's what, $9,000 bet? And then what it works out?
No, it's like 9 to 1. It's a $900. Plus 900 is.
Yeah. I got you.
I know. It's kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're still in there.
Craps.
I know. They're still in there. Well, yeah. I know. It's so weird. Like, what's up with that? But, yeah, plus 900. God, remember when we used to do stocks on here? That was great.
Yep. I haven't looked at mine in a while.
Don't do it. Do not do it.
I don't want to.
Stocks are in the toilet.
I didn't want to now, but now I really don't want to.
What's cool about the Dolphins bet is, I'm trying to log in here so I can. The odds are, they obviously changed. And no, I'm not putting in. Oh, jeez, passcode, text. Put this code in. Jeez,
don't you love
it? Gosh. All right, my bets. Yeah, plus 900 pays 900. September 22nd. I put that bet in. So I don't know what the odds are now. It can't be that good
because 2:35 a.m.
Yeah. Dude, it's what it says. It says 2:02 a.m.
Oh,
you almost got it. Oh yeah, it was late. It was late. We were wandering around. It was. It does have a timestamp on it. That's great.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, this just to finish catching up here, we got to get to you. But this year's the year I want to do some. I'm HVAC by trade. I want to do some tankless training and geo training, just personal little goals there. I've said this on the show before. Standing in front of a bunch of plumbers. It's just the training's different because I don't know all the lingo, and there's ways that I talk to contractors that because I know every little thing they go through on the HVAC side, and I don't on the plumbing. Just being able to put it in and work on it is different. Training is, I look at training totally different, right?
Well, because you don't have all the field experience of, well, screw that up, no, to not do that again.
All the little, you don't realize how much you have of that on training that should be mentioned, right?
Yep.
So it's going to take me a while to get in that, but I do want to, we're going to do more events this year where I set up at a counter day at a plumbing place and fire the tankless up and use, you guys, contractors, to come up and be like, it does this, it does that. I don't like this. I don't like that. I need that. You know what I mean? So I'm going to do a lot of that this year. We didn't really go over winter break much on the podcast. Man, these Busch Lattes will stir up a burp real quick.
That's why I have to keep hitting mute over here. This thing's kicking them out too.
So I've had Corey and Kylie in my house for a while. Corey's still here. He goes back Saturday. And dude, I've watched more movies with all four of us in this break than I have in years. Literally years. I know Rhydon's a kind of a movie guy.
Which I'm glad you brought that up. I'll get into some of that too.
So I'm still trying, but I've caught Kylie up on a lot of classics over the break. She's 12 years old. We watched the first Jurassic Park.
Nice. Love it.
Now, it came out in 92. I was 10 when I saw it for the first time. Okay. Kylie's 12. So she saw it for the first time, almost the same age as me, which is kind of cool. And I looked over at her one time, the scene, the T-Rex scene. She was dialed in, dude. Like that movie.
What happened to the goat?
That he left us. He left us. So many quotes from that movie, but dude, way ahead of its time, man. These movies back then. I couldn't. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna watch this. It's gonna look corny, dude. It still holds up, man.
Well, and that was what I was gonna say. Is I've felt that movie has always remained relevant in terms of special effects. It was done so freaking well.
Right.
Now, what's cool about that is it's a Spielberg movie.
Right.
And so Kristen and I finally convinced her to watch the original Indiana Jones trilogy this past weekend.
All of them are good.
But they're all George Lucas and Steven Spielberg. I mean, you can't get much better than that. Which a lot of people probably know it, some probably don't. But like Spielberg and George Lucas went to film school together at USC.
I didn't know that.
And Lucas always wanted to have him direct some of Star Wars, but it never really happened originally. But I'm pretty sure, I swear he was part of Jedi.
Being a boy growing up, I was an outside kid, like imagination. Like I'd suit up with my army stuff and my plastic gun and go outside, and it was like the shit was going down, like by myself. You know what I mean? So Indiana Jones movies like that, dude, when I was a kid, were incredible. I mean, can't beat that.
Damn, which one did he work on?
So we went through. We went through a couple Back to the Futures. Started with the first one, obviously. Goonies. Can't
No, you can't beat that one. No, he actually never did that one. It was always the Indiana Joneses. That's what he did with George, with old Lucas.
The what else did we now, of course, Corey has been taking her through the first season of Outer Banks, which, so the way we do it in my household, it might be a little much on the language for Kylie, but just don't let me hear you say it. Right? That's kind of how I grew up. Like, well, we all,
That's how I grew up.
But like The Simpsons and this and that, like, it's like, yeah, you can watch this. Like Jaws, right? There's another one that was way ahead of his time on
Also Spielberg.
Animatronics. I know. It's just, yeah, Spielberg crushed it. Who directed Caddyshack?
Oh, gosh.
I should know that. That was in that time period. Well, that was 80s. Geez, that might have been, was that 80s? Yeah.
Full casting crew. Harold Ramis.
Yeah, we didn't let her watch Caddyshack, but
dude, you're gonna laugh at who he is. Harold Ramis is who played Egon in Ghostbusters, the original.
Oh, Ghostbusters, that's another one.
Yeah, which he passed away 10 years ago almost now.
Yeah, Caddyshack. I mean, some of the movies are going to hold up for a long time.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe how Jurassic Park looked. And we didn't watch like a remastered one. We just watched it was kind of fuzzy.
Did you break out the VHS?
No, I do have it.
Me too.
So the next one I want her to see is the first Batman with Michael Keaton.
I am Batman.
Jack Nicholson. God, the Joker was money.
Yeah.
Corey's got us watching the latest one. Like I said,
what is the latest one?
It's 3 hours long. We got halfway through it last night, and Tracy's like, "What are we doing here? Kylie's got to go to bed. She's got school tomorrow. Like, shut it down, Mama. Shut it down."
Well, are you
like,
talking
what?
about?
We can't shut it down right now. Jeez.
Well, I was gonna say, are you talking about Christian Bale new ones or
no? After, yeah, even what's his name?
Who is it now?
Man.
I don't even know.
Oh, we are Google machines on here. It's his name.
There's so much good HVAC in this show. I'm so impressed. Crushing it.
I know. I think it's Robert. Is it Robert Pattinson? Yeah, The Batman is the movie.
The Batman.
The Batman. Robert
Pattinson.
Yep, that's it. That's the one we're watching now.
I don't even remember seeing about this movie coming out.
It's good, dude. It's got me locked in. Of course,
Colin Farrell plays Penguin. What? Okay.
All right, let's get in some HVAC. Well, what have you been?
So, speaking of HVAC, I've been doing some deliveries. We've had a fun run of people with the flu and people on vacation and holidays, and the last, I swear, 3 or 4 weeks, I've spent as much time delivering stuff as I have selling it, just because somebody was sick or somebody had PTO or something. It's that time of year, so, strap your boots in, get it done, so that by the time it's February, you're back out selling and you're ready to roll.
Good job, bud.
So yeah, doing some delivery, slinging some Bosch, selling it, delivering it. I am a one-man distribution machine.
You buy it from Rhydon. He takes the order. He puts it through. he then goes back out in the warehouse, and it's like a little
Loads
mom
up
and
the
pop
truck
over there.
I mean, yeah. It's service with a smile, baby.
Yep.
But I mean, you know what? Sometimes, in any person that has worked in distribution that's listening to this, sometimes that's just how it ends up being. You
It's
don't
still
always,
you're still providing service.
you were still
right?
providing service. You're still doing what what the plan is. Some days the roles have to shift around and do different things, but it is what it is. You got to do what you got to do in order to grow and get bigger and get better and do all those things. I have never been afraid of jumping in a truck. I started as a warehouse and counter guy. So, whenever I got to go back to that, I can lace it up with the best of them and get at it.
Now, I'm not going to lie. So when I went from the field into a branch distribution as a tech support guy, I had my little office and I had my computer, and I was on the phone all day with contractors doing tech support on a brand or whatever.
Yep.
When I didn't have any calls and there was people out, going up on the counter to ring a contractor up, go pull some collars, I liked it. It's a change. It's like I'm not above that, It's like,
and you can't be. If you're going to work in distribution, you can't be above going and
I'm sitting right there. My office is right in the branch I was at. I was facing the counter, and if there was 5 contractors standing out there, and I looked out my little window, and they're like, we got 2 counter guys, and they're running around. Oh, I had to go out there, because I've been the tech standing there going, geez, this would be a great place for a supply house. I've been that guy. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. So yeah, I mean, and you get a little tech talk, shop talk, go out there and what you working on, or
sorry, the UPS guy is here, which I'm hoping that means something really swanky for Chicago is here.
Oh.
Fingers crossed.
Yep. So yeah, I don't mind that. Beer break.
No, you have to. What would you say? Beer break?
Yep. UPS guy's here.
Yeah, UPS guy's here. Cody Cat's going ape because he can see his shadow through the door from the top of the stairs.
Jeez. I mean, it's you see that side when you're a contractor and you walk in. You don't really know what goes on behind the scenes, but it can be a lot. I know we would bring in new counter people, and summertime morning rush at 90 degrees on at 8:00 in the morning.
Oh yeah, that was baptism by fire right there.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, what's that under? What's that under? How do I look that up?
It's, oh my Lord, dog. Yeah, as soon as I unpause it, he barks, or unmute it. But what's funny is I kind of had that experience day before yesterday. We had everybody counting, and I had to send a guy out on a truck. So it was me up front, and this guy came in to buy some pleated filters. And dude, I could not figure out what in the hell the part number was for those things on that counter computer to save my life.
You don't just put in the width and the length?
Oh hell no, it's not that easy. It never is with any, and that's the funny part of it. With almost any distribution like warehouse management system, it's never as simple as 16 by 25 by 1.
Can you?
Nope.
Just type filter. No.
You can, and then you get all of them, maybe. Plus all like the special order filter things you've ordered over the last 20 years that the program has existed and everything else. And you're like, oh.
So that's what my brother is in. He's at a dealership in the parts department. Same thing, kind of.
Yep.
And if you went around to some of these places like a distributor and you looked at their computer, you'd be like, God, why does that look so old? It is old because guess what? It don't crash. When you go to a new system, it's not as, when it's obviously not analog or DOS, or whatever they call it.
But it's not far from it some days.
Right, but it's still better because it ain't jumbled up, you know. It's not using, it's literally just using, you know, hard inputs. Like,
Oh yeah, and every one of them I've used what, 4 different ones or 3 different ones? No, 4 different ones in my career, and every one of them has stuff that you hate, and stuff that you like, and stuff that you wish it would do.
right.
So I don't think there is one perfect wholesale management software. Now maybe there is, but there's always something that's a pain in the ass. Never fails. But I was like, well, I'll find this here in a minute, but I know where they are in the warehouse. I'll be right back. So,
Jot it down.
So I just
check them out later.
Yeah, I just took my ass out there, got them, like, here you go. I'll take care of it. What's your PO number? And then 5 minutes later, I figured out the quirk to it. And I was like, oh, okay, now we're good. But it was one of those I had to just sit there and figure out how they put it in the system. Because we've got what's, interestingly, where we have, account executives that do the commercial stuff, that we have TSMs, or territory sales managers, which are distribution, but, I kind of dabble into a bit of everything. But we have the TSMs, we've got a separate tool that is hooked to our phones, and we can put in anything on our phone. And dude, I can put that stuff in on my phone in like 2 seconds versus how much longer it takes on the counter computer, which is the way you want it as a sales guy. Because most of the time when we're out running and gunning, we need to be able to put it in as quick as possible and get it in there.
Right.
So the fact that we have, that secondary tool that just hooks right into it, makes it's an easier transition when you go into that full program. Because most of the time when you're going into it, it's because you have the time to actually sit there and monkey with all the little quirks and the stuff of it.
Oh yeah. We're bringing in a new software at Keystone, sales software for outside sales guys and inside sales guys.
Yep.
And we've been going through the classes every week on Monday, and everybody's like, "So when we gonna get to the mobile part? Are we about ready to do the mobile part?" Because the guys going through the class with us, I mean, it's all computer based, and I'm like, we're not going to be in front of a computer. We're going to be riding around on our phone. So, yep, that's where we're headed. That's where we're at. All right. So we do have some articles we want to get to moving forward this year. So I feel like this year, HVAC, plumbing, innovation is moving quickly, right?
That's the truth.
You feel that? Like,
oh yeah, big time.
It's like everybody was waiting for January AHR, because at the end of the day, that's where people roll out their stuff.
Yep.
Is that AHR? So it's some companies, some brands are starting to leak their stuff. Like, don't forget to come by our booth and check out.
Oh, in the last, I would say just this week alone, the amount of emails we've gotten, because
we've gotten 3 just while I was sitting here. I was looking at my phone, and they're all like,
but yeah,
come check out our booth.
Well, and that's the nice thing about being in the podcast pavilion and having a press pass is we get all the invites for all that stuff. We can kind of see all the stuff that's going on behind the scenes, which is cool.
Come have breakfast with Unico.
Yeah, it's like, man, I don't have enough time or stomach room to go to all
I got
these
7 breakfast invites in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But, no. So this year, and I don't mean just refrigerant change or furnace this and decar. I'm talking about just innovation. Like,
oh yeah, all kinds of stuff.
Heat pumps are strapped to a rocket.
Yep.
This year.
Yep.
So, yeah, I don't know what you want to.
What do you want to
dive into
first? You want to get into heat pumps first? We can kind of talk about that.
Yeah, and see what they're being tasked to do, I guess.
Yep. So,
a couple articles out there. We're probably. Which one was a better article?
I'm pulling up the one from the ACHR News. The News. This came out yesterday, so a lot of it is manufacturers joined field testing phase of the heat pump challenge, which it is a multi-year effort by the U.S. Department of Energy, or DOE, to accelerate and promote the development of heat pump technologies by supporting innovation and manufacturing. What it really is we're trying to find as many heat pumps that can heat at 100% capacity down to 5 degrees Fahrenheit as possible.
100%.
100%. No strips,
So,
nothing.
Right. Yeah, that's the task, and I don't know. It's so the big boys that they mention right out of the gate are Bosch, Daikin, Medea. I saw a video the other day, and the guy was saying Midea.
Midea.
I don't know, Medea, and Johnson Controls, which is also known as
York.
Yep,
York is a Johnson Controls product.
So now I'm looking at a picture here of Reams on there. There's what do you say, 6 or 7 that kind of stepped up to the plate.
Bosch, Daikin, Medea, and Johnson Controls are moving to the next phase, so their stuff is already meeting it. So now they're moving into field testing. Lennox, Carrier, Train, Ream are also field testing, but I don't know if their stuff has reached the same points as Bosch, Daikin, and Medea at the moment. So I think everybody.
Yeah, I mean, Bosch is rolling out a cold climate heat pump at AHR that meets, exceeds, and crushes that.
Yep. So
not just because we rep, Bosch, or he's, Rhydon and Sal's Bosch. I rep Bosch, but yeah, there's other brands going to be able to hit that too, obviously. But cost comes in. Is it communicating? Is it non-communicating? I don't know of these other brands. I want to try to figure out, are they non-communicating? A lot of contractors,
I think,
it's 50-50, man. I talk to contractors that love communicating products. When they work, you got a lot of information on the stat, right? That's the trick. It's at the stat. You can see everything. The non-communicating products, everything's at the unit. But then you don't know what's going on in the air handler unless you get your tools back out, like your manometers, and So I see that side. I get that.
I think the headache is going to be that most of these super efficient ones from a lot of these manufacturers are going to be heavy communicating.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Be super expensive. Reading a bit more into this article, it's saying their goal is to save a household $500 or more a year in utility bills by slashing, carbon emissions and energy usage.
Harmful carbon emissions.
Yes, harmful carbon.
You left that out, right? They're harmful.
Yep, excuse me. But the whole goal is, well, yeah, that's great. You're going to save us $500 more a year, but if it lasts 10 years, you save $5,000. But it cost you $35 to get it put in. You didn't save anything.
Yeah, I mean,
so that's where the rub of it comes in. That's where we saw stuff like
that's $41 a month.
Got so high.
Yeah, that's $41 a month.
Yeah, that's not covering what you're financing it for.
No,
it's never going to.
That's the only thing. I mean, the proprietary stats and stuff. Trust me, me and Ryan both have been on the side of, and I've sold and put in a lot of communicating product, and especially on the zoning side, it really works well when it works.
Yep.
The cost there for that though, it's high. And trust me, I've sold it, and when you can sell it,
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like we need to simplify just a touch on what they're actually doing. So what was the other? There was another. Okay, here we go. It was the cooling post put out the same thing.
Yep, very similar.
So that's a big topic this year. Where's it at?
Yeah, 4 more past cold climate heat pump challenge. So all this started in 2021. Let's see.
Lennox rises to cold climate heat pump challenge. Train passes the heat pump challenge in November 4th, 2022.
Yep, so Rheem meets it, and then Medea exceeds it, which means Bosch exceeds it. So, yeah, I mean, everybody's getting in there. We'll see. We'll kind of see how it develops. I know we'll see a lot more at AHR. And there's already some of these companies that have, cold climate stuff out that's doing well. If you follow our buddy Ben over HVAC Strong over there, he puts in a lot of cold climate stuff where he is because he's way up there in Prince George.
Right.
So, if you want to see some of these higher efficient products in action, in some more extreme environments, go check out those guys that are up in Canada and some of these other places that are already living in this battle.
So 5 degrees, there's people listening to this show that are like, 5 degrees, that's, we go way under that, like him, right? So,
yep,
like the Bosch product, I think what it is, don't quote me on this, but it'll still run, the current Bosch product will still run at a -5 outdoor temp. If it loses call, let's say it satisfies, and it's -5 or less, it won't come back on. It'll bring strips on or furnace if it's dual fuel, obviously. And it won't come back on until it rises above that. The new ones, obviously, they will run way down, way much further. So that's another, they're trying to see what efficiency they're hitting at -5, -10, that's where we're headed. We're getting into mini split numbers. You know what I mean?
Well, and I know
system. So
yeah, we're seeing that on ducted systems, and I know we talked about it before. I think these cold climate, even window shakers, are starting to make waves. I think one of them won an AHR Innovation Award, if I'm not mistaken.
That was Medea.
Yep. So
it was the one we talked about way back.
Yep.
It straddles the window.
Yep, exactly.
So the one thing, I watched a video on that. So it's a window unit that it straddles the window sill, and you close the window, so it doesn't take up your window at all. Probably about 2 inches of it. But I watched the video, and the one thing that caught my ear was, these are hanging on the side of the building, right? In New York, like there's a million of them.
Yep.
And they got rid of condensation. They don't condensate,
which is crazy.
So now I've got to try to dig into it more because it just interests me. But it's evaporating it internally somehow. And I really want to dive into that and figure that out. But yeah, because if you throw all those on the side of the building and they're just ripping water out, where's that going? It's just raining down, on the street, sidewalk. So yeah, they got rid of that. But anyway, I have to figure that out. I'll report back.
Yes, report back.
Yeah, I've been crushing
Dennis
that.
reports from the field.
I got to see one of those in action.
So another news topic. It is first of the year, so price increases. Everyone's favorite topic. Looks like, we already had a small one through Bosch, which averaged out around 6, which isn't terrible.
Nah, it's coming. It is what it is.
So I guess in this one, we got a couple little articles that hit home. So Carrier has announced a blended average of 6 up to 10%, which is always funny when I see Carrier stuff come out. It's like from Charlotte, North Carolina, because there is a Carrier chiller plant here. Which is funny. The chiller plant is not far from where my day-to-day regular office is here in Charlotte. So a lot of times I'll go drive by it every now and then because I just love seeing those giant things like rolling down out of there on the back of a tractor trailer. I just think big industry stuff cool as shit.
No, the carrier units that you see every once in a while, Rhydon will catch. Well, I feel like you're the
I
only one
hadn't
that
caught
catches
one
them.
here. I hadn't caught one here lately, and there's a few of them that I've seen, but I was too far away, or just by the time I could have gotten my phone, it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, Rhydon will post one on Instagram,
Yeah,
and it's 50 foot long and
yeah, I love when I catch one going down the road. I'm like, yep.
20 feet wide. I mean, that's cool. I don't care who you are, right?
Yeah,
Doesn't
absolutely.
matter what brand it is. Uh,
But
so
price increases are coming, whether we all want them or not. They're part of the industry. In order for wholesale to make money, they have to take the price increase, and we got to pass it. We can't just eat increases, and you guys can't eat them either, unfortunately. And you kind of have to look at it as your company got a raise.
the consumer has to eat the price increase. I don't know how many times we've said that on here. My old boss had the same mindset. He would beat up the sales guy, aka Rhydon, um, in that position, and it ain't his. It ain't the distributor didn't say, you know what, we're going to raise these. I think that's the misconception, right?
And it is a lot of times.
The distributor didn't raise that price to make more money, right?
Correct.
It was distributed to them, and they're just keep handing it down.
Yep.
Now, there's wiggle room between each distributor, between each salesman. There's always, meat on the bone for somebody, less meat on the bone, whatever. But
and that's
a price increase that comes from the manufacturer is what it is.
That's what it is. And that's because every single distributor, me and the distributor next to me, we might sell, 5 of the same things, but I would bet money not a single one of those 5 things do we have the same price on. Unfortunately, that's how it goes. There's things that one company buys better than another. There's stuff that this company buys better than that one. It is what it is. It comes down to relationships and, volume and everything else like that, just the way it does when we have to negotiate a price with a contractor, just like the contractor has when he has to negotiate with a homeowner. There's certain markets where you can't charge, over a certain amount. You just won't get it. And then there's certain markets you're like, damn, I should have raised my price when I went down there. I didn't realize it. It just is what it is.
Yeah, that's, I don't know how many shows we've had on that.
A bunch.
I feel like that was our second show.
Probably.
Ever. Price increases.
I think it was like the truth about pricing or something, I remember.
That's right.
One of those rare episodes with a non-song title.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be passed to the consumer. And the consumers, I see more and more, like, what I'll do is I'll have Tracy, like, Google search something on her phone that doesn't have a bunch of HVAC stuff on it and see what comes up, right? And it's like, it's the same, but it's different language.
Yep.
Right. It's like stuff's going to cost more. HVAC's going to cost more for your home, and we talk to you guys in a different lingo on the show, but it's got to be passed on. And if you get 5 a year, doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter.
Say, trust me, none of us want 5 a year. We know what it's like to have 4 in a year that absolutely just whack you upside the head.
Right.
I'm very happy to say that it is. We haven't had it like that recently. Things are at least semi getting back to normal in terms of that. But lead times still suck. We could talk about that a million more hours like we keep doing.
Lead times, yeah.
But,
so I want to, what I'm curious about, to go back to the, sorry to jump around, but to go back to the heat pump challenge is side discharge. Looks like a lot of these are not side discharge.
I know, and I find that interesting. But then I've also heard...
Well, side discharge is such a pain in the ass to work on, dude.
Yep.
It's just what it is.
I have heard one major brand potentially might convert all of their unitary to side discharge.
Well, was that an article?
I don't know if
You
it was an
read?
article, but it was.
It wasn't just hearsay. We don't want
But
to
it
throw it
wasn't.
out if
But
it's
it
just
wasn't
hearsay.
just. It
You
wasn't
read
here.
it?
It wasn't hearsay because it was from a. Well, it's hearsay, but it's from a much higher level person. There's a good bit of fact in there. I'll say that.
Yeah, I remember when you said that. I mean,
It's
I guess
very interesting to see if that may happen.
yeah, all their product go inside discharge.
It would shock. It would and wouldn't shock me at the same time.
Right.
But anyway,
but the piping, right, on the technical side, you know, when me and Ryan were at a different, you know, our last position, I was training on the GRE product, and they had a, you know, the GRE Flex, which they still have. The piping is crazy, right? It's a lot. It's side discharge. It's crammed in there. It produces heat like no other for a non-communicating inverter, but
but the air handlers are a pain in the ass. You gotta take half of it apart to even put the heat strip in.
It's cumbersome.
Which you don't necessarily have. Which most people are like, we don't need that. But
well, an HVAC strong, like that's the other one he puts in up there.
Yep, because it's so low.
It will still produce heat down to negative 22. It's not full capacity. You got to always read on the performance chart because, you know, he obviously, when he puts them in, they're dual fuel.
Yep.
And that furnace he puts in, man.
Dude, I love those furnaces. I'll be honest, I am going by that freaking booth when I'm in Chicago. And I'm going to be like,
it's
man,
the Napoleon, right?
Napoleon and Continental.
Continental, yeah.
It's furnaces. That's mostly what he puts in, I think, are Continentals. But down here, I think it's Napoleon. And
it looks like one of my training furnaces with plexiglass. I know.
They look furnaces. And I've actually reached out to him because I was trying to find out if that was something, you know, I could get access to, just to see, you know, if it's something guys would be interested in, especially. And a lot of this is because we know we're going to get pushed into all 95 plus furnaces anyway. You know, I want to have some relationships with these companies that have been pioneering these high efficient furnaces. You know, they've had nothing but 95 plus furnaces for how long? I mean, that's all they do.
Right.
So, you know, it's kind of like, you know, I love selling ADP stuff because they are very, you know, product focused on building coils. You know, and they design their coils to go in different situations, and it kind of gives you options you can work with.
Right.
You know, and that's where they spend their money. We talk about that. You know, we used to talk about that with manufacturers before. It's like, you know, they build outdoor units and they build furnaces and then they build coils. You know,
right.
So, and I think we had an episode where we really talked about mix match stuff. You know, sometimes it's nice to build a system with the best of the best from each category.
Yeah, and on a consumer side, it's like, whoa, what are you doing?
Yep.
You know, they're looking at it from an appliance standpoint.
Yep. They're like, well, why doesn't it all match?
Guess who's calling me right now?
Circle back with Zach.
Joe Atzenhofer.
What?
Cajun Joe is calling.
Well, he actually just tried to call me a few minutes ago. Dang it, I must be in big ass trouble if he's calling me.
Oh, man. Cajun Joe.
Jeez.
He might have a Bosch tech support.
Who knows? Let me text him real quick.
If he left a voicemail, I'm playing it on here live.
Maybe not.
I might not be able to. Yeah, I might not do that. Might have to brush through that. All right, so we have articles to come that we were put in.
Yeah, two more articles. One of them is a local one. I'll say this one real quick, but you know, Charlotte Pipe just opened their new state-of-the-art foundry in Oakboro. A guy that used to live below Chris and I in our apartment complex is one of their safety guys, and he was all excited about them opening this place up. So pictures of it are awesome. Might have to get in touch with him and see if we can go get a tour, just because I think it'd be cool to go see.
Yeah, I mean, some of these plants that produce flex and pipe and line sets are you drive by and you see just this, looks like just a warehouse, and then it's just crazy inside. As a contractor, if you can get a tour somewhere, hit your local salesman up. I mean, manufacturer factory tours are great.
Yep.
Right. Any of that. How is it produced? What's the steps? How does it go down the line? I love those. Like, I can't, like that show, How It's Made. Like, I could just watch that on a loop.
Oh yeah.
Forever.
And I've actually, that's one of my major focuses this year is doing, and it's something Insight's really big on as well, is we do factory tours and we get guys to go see where the product they're buying is made in different places. I know looks like I've got a couple scheduled, or going to be scheduled in March. I'm going to have some scheduled in April. I know we're working on doing some other stuff with you guys for a plant tour. I would say probably around the same time frame. It's typically spring and fall when we got time to do stuff like that. So there's a bunch of stuff we're working on. And then,
this plant said Charlotte Pipe invested $58 million into the plant.
I thought $460 million investment.
Well, it said on the environmental side.
Yeah. Continued growth and expansion while holding tight to its commitment of manufacturing in the United States. Which, you know what, I appreciate that too. Because, Charlotte Pipe has been here for 122 years.
Jeez.
Yeah, so I mean, not going anywhere.
We might have to take a trip over there.
Yep, definitely. Well, yeah, and then I guess that rolls into, so I think we talked about it when we, post our trip to Chicago to go to Prosser and do the AHR Workforce Development stuff. We also were interviewed for some articles that were going to come out, and looks like one of the first ones came out this week on the 8th in PHCP Pros. I'll put a link to it up on our social media and some stuff this coming week. But essentially, it is in the AHR preview show from PHCP Pros. But just a couple of our, a couple of sound bites from it. The ultimate goal from us going up there was to really impress upon these kids the amount of types of jobs that they have in this industry.
Right.
So, they've got a couple of sound bites from both of us. One of the things that I had said was, what these kids don't realize is a couple of years in the field after school, if they don't like being a service technician or an installer, they can move into wholesale manufacturing or as a manufacturer's rep. And it's because a lot of these kids don't understand just how broad of a job base our industry has. So, that was something we really wanted to hammer home at all different things these kids can go and do later in life if they learn the foundation in the trade now.
Well, nothing against the instructor, but a lot of times the instructor came from the field.
Yep.
To instructing.
That's it.
And that's kind of what he's preaching, right? And that's fine. So they kind of miss out. He's not going to say, learn how this contactor works so you can sell on the counter. But that's that's just what happens. That's the industry, right? We gotta open up their eyes, and because, Rhydon at Insight right now, they're trying to hire a bunch of people to fire up some more locations.
That's it.
And it's hard because
it's hard.
It shouldn't be, but you want a guy that's had some knowledge, right? You'd love to get a guy in the field or something.
Yep.
To work on the counter that's been around it, but so yeah, we were pushing that pretty hard when we talked to him.
Yep. And then this is something you had said was the biggest problem right now in the school systems. I don't care what level they are, they don't have a good mix of equipment. They either got really old, or they've got one thing that's new and they don't let the kids touch it because it's the best thing they've got in there, and it's the truth. And and you further expounded on that. Kind of like you were just saying, the next generation is not afraid of technology, but if they don't see where the technology is now, they're not going to be interested in learning about it either, and that's why it's so important to get newer, fresher technology into that classroom, it's hard to teach these kids a foundation on nothing but some old furnaces. And these are all things directly, that Dennis is saying, was quoted by, but it's also stuff we've preached ever since we started this show.
Yeah, I mean, when I went around in that class and said, "What do you want to be when you grow up? Why did you sign up for this HVAC program?" A couple of them were like, "I want to be an engineer. I want to be a software writer. I want to do this. I want to do that." And you put that kid over there on that 1998 Rude, and he's going to be like, "None of the stuff I want to do is on this product."
Nope. It's
and then we opened up the Bosch. Yeah,
it's 22.
It's mechanical. It's very analog. It's very mechanical. Relays, power this, close this contact, cuts on, high voltage, refrigerant, boom, we're moving. Yep. And then you open up that Bosch. We unboxed the Bosch and we showed him that board, and he's like, "Well, that looks like my freaking desktop. I'm like, I can get into this."
Yep.
That's the new generation.
Yep.
So and that's what we were trying to push.
Well, and we said, there's a lot of discussion about, this generation doesn't want to work. I don't know if it's really that they don't want to work. They want to get paid.
Well, they want to,
and they want to.
I think too, they want to go to work and enjoy it. I don't know if our parents and that wasn't a thing. It was like, well, this isn't fun. It doesn't matter. You just do it.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, I know, but I'm not enjoying this.
Job, just go there, get it done, go home. It's just a job.
But it's steady, and they've been around a while, so you just need to stay there. Yep. It's like, that's not this next.
No, it's not. This next generation they want a feel good story to go with why they go to the office every day. And I get it. I want to be, I want to be happy selling HVAC every day. I don't want to be depressed doing this. If I'm depressed doing this every day, I'm going to go do something else.
Well, prime example, right? Corey's 18. He's about to be 19. And there's a guy in town here that said when Corey's off, when he's out on breaks, he can pop over here and help me work and catch him some hours and catch him some pay. And Corey's like, sweet. So it's very repetitive work. Mm-hmm. Cutting bungees, putting ends on them, cutting fabric, putting in grommets, right? Putting orders together and putting them in a box. And there's 3 guys in there, and Corey puts music in his ear, and then he goes to lunch, and you know what he told me? He's like, "I can't do it." I'm like, "Corey, it's easy. Just do it. You can, it's cash. While you're here," he's like, "I know, but it's like," he goes, "I don't want to say it's not fun," he said, "but there's no shop talk. There's no like camaraderie. It's just, I'm in there." He said, "I feel like it's almost punishment."
Yeah.
And he's like, "I want to find me a pizza place and get back in the kitchen and put some dinners together and clean up. And, we got music going and we're talking and we're helping each other." He's like, "I miss that. Like, this is man. Like it's almost just a robotic warehouse type place."
Yep.
And he's like, I can't. It's miserable. It's absolutely miserable. He says it's not physically hard, but that's that generation, man. He
doesn't, they don't want a job that just feels like they're wasting away.
Right. And that was normal back in the day, right? That was, you got a steady job, you were good to go, right?
Well, that's good. The amount of times
we still got to have those guys.
You still do, but the amount of times you see, these things come out like celebrating 35 years with so and so. Those are getting less and less and less. Actually,
yeah.
I saw one of those the other day, and I was like, "Dang, good for you, buddy."
5 is it though? I mean, yeah, 5 years now is like you start getting a little antsy. Like, what are we doing here?
Yep. It can get that way sometimes.
Same way with houses, right? People don't stay in houses like that.
Nope.
I mean, that's what I liked about being in the field, is every job was different, but then that got repetitive too.
Yep.
So,
well,
some people love that. Their brains built that way. We got to have plant type
You gotta have all
plant
those
worker
people.
minds.
You gotta have all those people.
That's what makes the world go.
Well, I guess shall we reiterate some AHR news since it's what? Today's the 11th. It starts in 11 days, which is insane. Which we start we start all of our AHR fun on the 20th and 21st. So a lot of stuff coming really quick, and hopefully the weather's not as horrible as it's pretending it might be right now.
It's not going to be bad inside the place.
No, it's going to be nice inside. Now,
I'm looking forward to seeing all the new stuff, man.
Dude, I know. I'm excited. I've got
on the water side.
I've got a laundry list of booths I've got to go and look at for one, because it's stuff I want to see. Two, it's stuff that company wants me to go and take a look at. And then we've got our shows. Which, speaking of our shows, I know Dennis and I will be roaming around, some together and some separate. On Tuesday and Monday. Up until around recording time, I'm sure, or around lunch. But on Monday, January 22nd, from 1 to 3 p.m., we'll be in Podcast Pavilion 2 with our buddy Bryan from AC Products. We had a discovery meeting about our show with him earlier this week. We're very excited about some cool things you guys are going to see. We're going to do some giveaways during the show as well. If you don't know who Bryan is, on Wednesdays, he does Whiskey Wednesday, which I try to make sure to always repost because he does us a solid and is always wearing this R&D hat.
Yep.
He will be, his booth is S8695. I do also know that after our show at 3:45, I believe he said, he is also doing a full-on live product demo for some of his stuff, so we'll get you some more details about that. I don't think they have announced which hall he's going to be in for that, but as soon as we know, we will make sure that we announce that on the next show, since it will be the next show next Friday is right before the show. So
Jeez,
it's going to be,
it's here.
I know it's here. And then Tuesday, January 23rd, 1 to 3 p.m., Podcast Pavilion 2 again. We have our buddy Sal from Bosch. We had our call with him to start talking about that show today. Bosch booth is S8188. And Sal is a heavy water guy. Yeah, our pal Sal. Our pal Sal is heavy on the water side. So we're going to get into some things that are coming out for water, as far as water heaters and some things. We're also going to talk about Geo. We're going to talk about commercial water source and how we think that's going to be stacked up against VRF, boiler talk, all kinds of stuff. So it'll definitely be a very interesting conversation, that Dennis and I kind of get to dig into some topics that we don't always deal with on a day-to-day basis, but they're a huge part of the industry, and we think they're going to be, even bigger going forward. And then Wednesday, January 24th, we have the AHR Workforce Development Student Tours. So between 9 and around 11, you'll see Dennis and I wandering around with a bunch of kids, showing them the ropes of the AHR
I love it.
floor.
That's my favorite part.
I know, it's always fun. So I know we're going to go see Bosch. We'll also take them by Medea and Vega, I believe, as well. I think there's one or two others. I just don't know all of them yet. We'll get more details we'll probably get the full list that Wednesday morning so that we can be quickly prepared. And then we'll get at it. And then once we get the audio back, if you don't get to see the show live on the floor, we will be posting these episodes. I would say typically it takes 4 to 6 weeks for that stuff to get back to us, since they record everything. So I would say probably sometime in late March, early April, we'll actually get to have them out to post. We might get lucky and have them sooner than that, but they will definitely be going out. And then we'll probably have Bryan and Sal back on later in the year to kind of do some follow-up and see what else is going on with those guys.
Well, I want to get them on and talk to them how their show went. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Bryan is working that booth like that's his.
Yep.
Like that's his brand.
Oh yeah.
He's in there. So I'd like to talk to these guys on how behind the scenes on the AHR. You know. So
And then if you haven't registered for AHR and you're going, you no longer can get your passes mailed to you. You now will have to deal with will call. But make sure to go register at ahrexpo.com. Get everything in there. Remember, the AC Products booth is S8695. The Bosch Home Comfort booth is It's S8188. S8188. Bush.
Yep.
Okay. Get the app, which is Breezy. Is that right? Is it Breezy, the person that talks to you on the app? So get Breezy on your phone, start planning your show, follow the booths you're interested in. Make sure to come see us in the podcast pavilion. It's right between the two main showrooms in the concourse next to the beer garden. So come grab a beer and hang out with us from 1 to 3, Monday and Tuesday. And
we will be holding down there.
Yeah, we will be holding it down. The beer garden will not go unappreciated while R&D are on the floor.
I don't think we can drag a cooler up on stage this year. We got some.
No.
What do you call it?
I can't. So everything on the floor is union. I think everything is a union. So there will be no sneaking in the sweet AHR cooler that Nicole and the team sent us last year. But you know what? I don't want to pay to fly that thing to Chicago anyway. So
no.
But yeah, so come check us out in the podcast pavilion. If you're not following us, please go find us on social media at hvac.rnd on Instagram and TikTok. Find us on Trade Hounds, LinkedIn, and Facebook as the HVAC R&D podcast. Please go listen to the show, which we know you're listening because you're hearing what I'm saying. But, you know, wherever you're listening, make sure to like us, follow the show, leave us a review, share us with your friends, and just help us to continue building this awesome trade crew community that is honestly gets better every day. And I really can't be or explain how grateful I am that we get to just do this. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
You know, we get to continue building a friendship regardless of any of it. It's just, yeah, it's a great thing. So we're very grateful for everyone that supports us and listens. So, also, what I did forget to say is I do have to apologize to our main sponsor, Mr. Bob Delasala, since I screwed up the title of his show last week in the top 10 countdown. So his show is episode 100, Hard Working Man, but I accidentally said Kaio's episode title, Hard Hat and a Hammer, because we were talking about him earlier, and it just rolled off the tongue.
It was that 9%er,
that
man.
9% Blitzkrieg hop. I mean,
Well,
I am German.
I
am German. I had to pick something that said Blitzkrieg in it. Sorry,
That's
everybody.
Right.
And then also the Red Solo Cup episode, which we said was just us. It is not. That was our good buddies HVAC Doctor and HVAC J.
And Jay.
Yep.
I thought it was.
Two of the Red Seal originals. Yeah. Where was you at, D? You're supposed to edit me on that.
Yeah, but
you knew I was going off the rails, and he's like, I'm just gonna sit back here and watch it happen.
I was just cracking them over here, just listening. I like just listening sometimes.
But yeah, so here, I called myself out, everybody. Sorry about that. Sorry, Bob. Sorry, Jay.
Yep.
Sorry, Doc. Which I guess I'll get to apologize to Doc personally. Kristen and I are gonna pick him and Chrissy up from the airport Saturday morning, so that they can save on an Uber share.
Sweet.
So, but yeah.
All right, guys. Well, yeah, appreciate everything, and we will see y'all next Friday.
Yeah, we'll catch you on the flip side. Thanks
no
for listening.
peace.
No peace.
No?
I was getting there. No peace. What was this, Independence Day? No peace. Die.
Oh yeah, it's movie.
Did you watch that one yet? Did you bust that one out?
I still like shoot her.
Shoot her.
Oh, Jurassic Park has a ton of them.
Yes.
All
So
right.
good. All right.
See you guys.
Thanks, everybody. Peace.